Here we are with my old friend, colleague, and Hall of Famer Steve Flink. We want to do our little short comment on the men's finals, because there is an Italian that is represented by me, and an American who is represented by Steve Flink. First of all, we could go through the draw, and maybe you should start with Fritz, because in a way, Sinner being number one seeded, he was expected more or less to get forward and to maybe reach the final. For Fritz, wasn't that predictable?
No, absolutely not. Number 12 seed, and obviously he'd been in the quarterfinals here a year ago and lost to Djokovic, but no, many would not have anticipated this. A great effort. He started off, Ubaldo, beat Carabelli, the Argentinian, 5-1 and 2, and then he beat your countryman Berrettini in straight sets, 3-6 and 1, and followed with another easy straight set win, and then played Casper Ruud. That one was a dangerous match. Ruud, seeded 8th, was in the finals here a couple of years ago against Alcaraz, and Fritz came from down a set to win in 4, and he followed by beating the number 4 seed, Sasha Zverev, in 4 sets, winning 2 tiebreakers, the first in 4 sets in breakers. And that set the stage, of course, for the 5-set win over Tiafoe last night.
Yes, I could say that I would have loved to see Fritz versus Berrettini on grass.
Yes.
Instead, but here on our court, I was sure that Fritz would have won, I mean, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I wasn't surprised that he beat him quite easily in 3 sets.
And the advice that you gave Berrettini just didn't work, right?
Yeah, correct. I mean, unfortunately, as a coach, I was a failure. While Jannik Sinner beat Mackenzie McDonald in the first round, he lost the first set. It was 1 break down in the second at the beginning, and I thought, while I have an animal,
we got rid of it.
Must be a fan of tennis and your comment, Steve. And then Sinner beat Michelson, that he had already played in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Then O'Connell, and then Paul, and Paul was his first tough match because he won 2 sets at the tie break.
And he was down double break in the first set, 4-1, 2 breaks. Good comeback from Sinner.
So that was difficult, but Sinner started to show why he wins all the tiebreakers. He lost only 8 points and he made 14 in 2 tiebreakers, so which is a big difference. And then he beat Medvedev, which was probably the strongest opponent in his path.
Yes.
And somebody said, could have been an anticipated final, but now, of course, now we really don't know, because Fritz showed that he is capable to beat even great players, and then Sinner was able to beat Draper in 3 straight sets.
But I didn't think he played very well against Draper, did you?
No, he didn't. But it was difficult to play against Draper because Draper is a left-hander, serves very well, and not lost any set.
Right.
Okay, now I want to
ask. But you
ask.
make a good point, Ubaldo. Just quick interjection on that is that Fritz, I think he'd be more comfortable, Sinner will be more comfortable rallying with Fritz than he was with Draper, with all that heavy left-handed forehand topspin, right?
Yeah.
The rallies were uncomfortable at times for Sinner. I don't think they will be when he plays Fritz.
Yeah, at the same time, the problem with Fritz will be that Fritz serves very, very well.
Yes.
Yesterday, 39% of his serves were unreturnable.
Yeah, it's a good number.
So Sinner has got one of the best return. So it's a good conflict.
And there were times when Fritz didn't serve as well as he needed to. He led 3-love first set against Tiafoe and then lost his serve twice in that set. He served really well in the second, but got broken early in the third. So if he has those lapses against Sinner, I think he will pay a substantial price for that.
Okay, Steve, tell me what Fritz should do to beat Sinner. What should be the keys for a Fritz win?
Well, I think obviously the first serve percentage needs to be up there near 70%. He's got to be a little more consistent on his returns than he was against Tiafoe. and then very solid, I think, in the rallies, Ubaldo. He's been tempted to go for a lot, but Sinner, it's going to be difficult for Fritz in that sense to find the balance from the backcourt, but he must. If he doesn't, he'll be pressing and making a lot of errors, and Sinner is quicker than he is. That's another serious problem for Taylor Fritz.
Okay, well, from my point of view, well, I have to say that Sinner has to be more consistent than he has been against Draper when he missed a lot of forehands. Of course, he has to face the crowd, which will be, of course, in favor of Fritz. Maybe not as much excited like if he had to play Tiafo, but that is, Sinner knows it. And he said, I am going to expect it. It's like if Fritz would come to play in Rome against me.
Yeah.
But here I think the public, the crowd is louder.
I think the other thing, Ubaldo, is Fritz is going to need to change direction when he can, because I feel that if Sinner gets into a rhythm, when they get into these cross-court patterns, that Sinner is better forehand to forehand and better backhand to backhand. So I think Taylor has to take that backhand down the line when he can.
Okay, well, I think it's enough for today. Thanks a lot to
We're going to make our final calls?
Yes, I think Sinner will win, and I'm quite optimistic he may win even in 3 sets.
I'm saying Sinner 6-4, 4-6, 6-4, 7-6 in the fourth, 7-3 in the tiebreak.
Well, almost all of his tiebreakers were won 7-3, correct. Anyway, thanks to Steve Flink, my old friend, colleague, and Hall of Famer. See you tomorrow for the final.